Welcome to the Intuitive Inc. radio show live with your host, Servet Hasan, with another inspiring author who can help you discover your true potential. Live on Clear Source Radio.
Hello, everybody, beautiful souls out there. It is Sunday night. The name of the show is Intuitive Inc. I'm not live tonight. We are pre-recording, and that's because I have a wonderful guest who is going to be talking to us all about fear. And yes, dear people, fear is what holds most of us back. And this gentleman, Brent Feinberg, is done a really good job of helping children, but adults as well, just people in general, face that and get through that. Brent is a best-selling author in South Africa. The name of the book is Freeing Freddie, the Dream Weaver. It comes with a workbook and an activity book, and we'll be talking about all of that. And yes, it's all about facing your fears. Freeing Freddie with Brent Feinberg. Hi, Brent. How are you?
Hi, Servet. I'm excellent. Thanks. Yourself?
Good. You've got quite a resume because you started when you were like 13, and you're already a triple Reiki master, a body talk practitioner, which I would like to know what that is, but we can get there, a yoga teacher, and obviously a speaker and a best-selling author. So I have to ask you, because you've done quite a bit already, because you're a young man, and where did this all come from at such a young age?
I think I always had a deep sense of seeking and searching for our greater purpose as people on earth, and that took me into many different avenues in life, as well as my mother was a strong influence in encouraging me experiencing and trying out all these various aspects that are on offer to us.
Wonderful. Big shout out to your mom. And moms everywhere. Rah, rah, yes. No, now you are in South Africa as we speak this minute. Have you always lived there?
I grew up in South Africa. I was living in Atlanta more recently for the past year.
Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. Go.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, in the South. Okay. What were you doing in Atlanta for a year? Studying?
So we just getting Freeing Freddie, the books out to as many people and children as possible. We doing teacher training, training teachers up to use the stories and the tools in their classrooms, as well as we've adapted the materials of how to let go of fear in your life to a corporate package to help people in the corporate world be less risk adverse, to go within, find inner peace, help them to connect with their dreams and goals for their organizations. So the things that we're teaching from the simple story of Freeing Freddie can be adapted to anyone, whether you're a child or an adult.
Right, of course. And I love the book. The book is beautiful. Freeing Freddie, the Dream Weaver is the name of it. And I also looked at the activity book and the workbook. I read the book, obviously, too. I mean, there's all kinds of things in the activity book, including 3-minute fudge, which I will get to. But it's the thing I love about this, though, is that I read that this was even the publishers in South Africa. It's published and distributed by Tomorrow Trust, which is a nonprofit organization devoted to educating orphans and vulnerable children, as they put it, which is great. And also in your book, it does say that a portion of the profits go to helping children's education, which I find really fascinating. And the fact that you took a subject, it's kind of universal principles dealing with fear, moving forward, and made it really understandable for a young child. I love that because I wish someone taught me that when I was little. I learned the hard way, and I'm old now. So I've been doing this I've been doing this for 100 years, at least. So, I think that it's hard. It'd be nice if someone could have sat with me with a beautiful book like this and just said, look, it's all, you face your fears, right? Is that where this
yes,
go ahead.
There are 2 points I'd like to talk to there. The first being that everything I learn and that I've integrated into my life successfully is only worthwhile if I can share it with others.
Right.
A man's freedom is there to help liberate others. And so that's the way I see my life. Anything I accomplish, I hope to share with others. And the story of Freeing Freddie started off as a book to raise awareness and funds for the Tomorrow Trust, the foundation in South Africa that my mom started. So I was off doing my yoga teacher training in Bali, and I thought I'd write a children's book to raise money and use as a tool for the children in the foundation. And we wrote the book and people loved it, and we were just getting really positive feedback. And that's how the story started. And the story was really powerful and wonderful, but I felt like it needed more. So that's why we created the workbook and the activity book. So the workbook is for teenagers and adults, and the workbook has actual tools for you to analyze your fears, because if you don't know what your fears are, you can't let go of them. For people to see that their fears are normal, and then to go within and start to dream, because if you don't have a dream or a goal in life, then overcoming your fears might not be even worthwhile. You might just stay comfortable where you are.
Correct. So you geared this towards children because of the foundation your mother started, as opposed to just writing an adult. And also
I feel like in my private practice and working with many clients over the years, we found that fear was synonymous with all people of all ages, of all different backgrounds, socioeconomic, and so are dreams. They're two common things. Everyone has aspirations or has the ability to dream, and the biggest thing stopping people from getting there are their fears. And children, if you can open their minds or keep them open from a young age, then they can avoid all the strife us adults go through.
Well, right, exactly. It's like that old, there's an old joke that, a woman's having nightmares every night, a monster's chasing her every single night, and she can't sleep. And finally one night, she stops in the middle of her dream and she says, "Look, monster, why are you chasing me?" And the monster says, "I don't know, lady, it's your dream." Anyway, that's kind of how I feel about fear, because until you face that, you can't release it. You can't begin to even understand it. So how do you define fear?
So fear is something that is both completely real and illusionary. When you are experiencing fear, it is incredibly real. When you have broken through the boundary of that fear and it no longer exists for you, you'll look back on it and be like, that was a complete illusion. Fear is something that sits in the mind and is stored within the body, in the mind-body complex. And it can be released, it can be let go of. It is not necessary to live with fear. This is not saying that having a healthy sense of danger is not necessary. Life is precious and we should treat it with care. Fear is not that innate sense of keeping yourself safe. It's something completely different.
Right. One of my favorite definitions of fear, and I think you have it in your book too, I'm sure you do. It was John Wooden, the coach at UCLA from 100 years ago, who said his acronym for fear was always false evidence appearing real. And then, everybody ran with that, which is, I think, true. you know?
Yes, I concur with that one.
Right, it is. And I think that unless we can, some people have a hard time even admitting they have a fear to start with. So I think trying to figure out what it is we think we're afraid of, not so much. Don't you think? I mean, because it's programmed into us.
Once you know what your fears are, you can begin to let go of them. If they're just sitting there within you and you don't even know what they are, then they're like software programs just running your life. And fears are basic things like fear of not being good enough, such a common one. Fear of failure, fear of trying your best and not being successful, quite similar to fear of failure, but with a slight twist on it. One example I use when I give lectures or workshops, which relates to young people quite easily, and all people now, is that my mom took a picture of me with some people and put it on Instagram, and I didn't like the picture, so I was really unhappy. And then I had to question myself, is it that important having a picture on Instagram, what other people think or think of myself? So I was like, there must be a fear surrounding this. So I looked closely at myself and I saw that I had a fear of being judged by others. So you can see these things are really common. I think they're natural things that all people experience, but once you see it, there are ways to let go of it, and that's what we give. We give these tools to people. Right.
I think one of my definitions of fear that I learned from my guru a million years ago is fear is really all kind of future-based. It's fear of the future. Will I fail? Will I fall down? Will they call me? Will I get the job? If I get the job, will I keep the job? Will I get the man? If I get the man, will I keep the man? It's a fear of something unknown, usually in a future tense that paralyzes people often.
Yes, and it's also it's both living in the past and the future, because you're relating your life to past impressions and past experiences that aren't necessarily going to carry forth in the future. So you're projecting the past into the future instead of totally living in this moment.
Right. And then the key there is to live in the moment. Now, one of the...
well, it's not about living in this moment. It's about seeing clearly that this moment is all that there is. There is only this moment.
Exactly. Well put. Yes, exactly. There is only now. This now. Not even present time doesn't really say it all, because it is just now. So
exactly.
Now, one of the main characters in this, it's Freddie. We're freeing Freddie. Freddie gets, and I don't want to give the book away, but his helper, obviously the person that guides him and teaches him, his guru, sort of, is a spider named Mr. Cotton. Where did the idea for this come from?
So the spider, the consciousness of the spider is the weaver of dreams. So like a web, you can have a web that wraps you in fears, or you can have a web that glistens and beautiful and is a web of your dreams. The Sanskrit word for spider is cotton weaver. So that's how I got the name Mr. Cotton.
Oh, I like that. I was born in Pakistan. Now, I grew up in London. I'm a British citizen, I'm a Canadian citizen, and I'm an American citizen, so I've been all over. But one of the things I remember my mother doing when I was a little girl is she never let us kill any spiders. We took them outside because I think in her culture they were very special. So
yes, and in many cultures they are. Also in the African culture, they revered in African culture. And really, I see spiders as a harmless animal. I don't know anyone who's ever been to the ER. Don't quote Australians on this, because they have a few spiders that are a bit more deadly. But all in all, the percentage of people that have harmful injuries from spiders compared to anything else we live with on a daily basis, like a motor vehicle, is completely minimal. But that proportionality is such a great metaphor for fear. Like, fear is completely illusionary. It's like you have a grown man in a room with a tiny little spider, this black little dot on a wall, and he can't even be in the same room.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you have people jumping over couches and beds to get away from these tiny little insects.
Right.
And that's what fear is.
Right. Yeah, I love the way you did it. And it's beautifully done. It's beautifully written. Like I said, it's very understandable for a child, but then it's relatable to an adult too. So, I mean, it really kind of crosses that. Now, who did the illustrations for it? They're lovely.
A young guy by the name of Daniel Clark, who lives in Cape Town, South Africa, and he's just super talented.
He is. They're beautiful. Did you have a vision of Freddie? Because children...
Yes, so I wrote the story completely and had a very specific way I wanted it to be, and I think he even improved on the way I saw it. He did such a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really well done. It's a beautiful book for people out there listening. I highly recommend it, not just for children, but for anybody who, we all face fears. I mean, one of my last books was Life in Transition, and it's all about facing your fears and also overcoming challenges and also finding the gift in every challenge as well. And you sort of go there a little bit too, because our fears can open us up to what's challenging us, and then we can find something in there that's really a gift for us in the end. Do you agree?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, completely agree. And the story speaks quite a lot about that. Uh-huh. And the main thing is that the story's fun. It's super enjoyable. The reader walks away feeling incredibly empowered, feeling positive, and it's a story that parents can read to their children, that they can read themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a wonderful way for people to connect and start up a conversation that will help them in their own lives.
Right, exactly. And I think that's why, like even in the activity book or the workbook, I'm not sure, you tell me, but you even have a place where children can get a card, write down their fear, and then on the other side of the card, write down the opposite of what the fear is so that you know what you're facing. I think it's awesome for anybody to do that, not just children, because you're facing what's holding you back.
Yes, so that thing is all about positive affirmations, turning the fear into a positive. What do you want to, instead of focusing on the negative in your life or what's holding you down, you can turn it around and focus on the positive and focus on creating that in your life.
Exactly. And even if that's something, I'm a cancer survivor. I just last year was diagnosed with a very rare form of ovarian cancer, a very aggressive form, clear cell. And I had an operation. I went through chemotherapy. I've changed a lot, and my writing has changed a lot. So I'm writing now more about, it's not even about poor me. It's about, what did I learn? How have I grown? What can I take from this and use for the future? And that's kind of, you've done this with children, which is great, but we can all use that, I think, as well. So. Yes,
that's wonderful. Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're doing well now.
Right.
And that you overcame that.
Thank you.
And it's just fantastic that you can share those things with people.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be my life's work moving forward, is empowering women, or people in general, but especially women, because I come from a country where women don't mean much, but also just lifting people's consciousness in that way and helping, people with cancer and moving forward. But I just love that when you can help people. I mean, this is so bad. And you said it in the beginning of this interview. You said that even when you do get your dream or you get closer, you start to overcome fears and move forward. The whole point is to share it, right?
Yes. There's a point in the story where it says we are all one, we are all equal and equally special and beautiful. We are completely interconnected. We live in an environment that is the world. It's an ecosystem. And if people in China or in some far-off country are suffering, that affects me. And I have the ability to affect my surroundings, and every person does. So when someone becomes free of their fear, when someone is living their truth, their purpose, their passion, when someone is creating their dream from a beautiful and peaceful and kind place within them, they naturally benefit their surroundings. And that's what it's all about.
It's true. So true. The rock said that. Freddie sat on a rock and the rock said, we are. So I'm glad you explained that to everybody. I don't want to give away the whole book, but it's true because you know what? In America right now, I'm sure you've heard, we're having a challenge here with the borders and children being separated from their parents. And you know what? Everybody was affected by that. Everybody I knew, let's put it that way. Especially me. We're all affected by that. I don't know these people.
It's really just hard to see those things. And it's all about not seeing the other, not creating the other. It's all about seeing all people as one of us.
Right. We're not separate.
It's unity conscious. Exactly. We are not separate.
We are one. And when you realize that we're all part of that same light, then you see that in everyone else too. It's like, it's not that we're all beautiful. I end my show every week with be you to the full, because that's what's really beautiful, because part of my work is helping people achieve who they really are, their authentic self, because then life is easy. You don't need the law of attraction or anything like that. You just need to be you. And when you be your authentic self, things come easily. You're doing that at such a young age. You've already accomplished a lot, because I think you've tapped into how bringing out your authentic self. And so does this book, right?
Yes. I know from experience that every human being has the potential to become fully realized. We all have the exact same equipment. Our capabilities outwardly may be different, what we're able to do outwardly, but we all have the ability to be joyous, to have freedom within, to be free from fear, and to create love and compassion in our lives and in the lives of others. And that's the true message of Freeing Freddie.
Right. And I saw that in the workbook, where you have, gratitude, writing down what you're grateful for and appreciating. And that's important too. It's all wonderful. Now, I have to ask, because we're halfway through the show already, at least, how can people find you and the book?
So the book is available on Amazon. That's the easiest place to purchase Freeing Freddie the Dreamweaver and the workbook and activity book. If people are interested in teacher training or workshops, our website is www.withlovefromfreddie.com. Freddie is with an IE. And you can follow us on social media, also with Love from Freddie on Instagram and on Facebook to connect with us.
Right. Okay. And then I want to remind everybody that your name is Brent Feinberg, because you're the author. So that's who we're talking to here. So, and yes, so you can find it on Amazon or With Love from Freddie with an IE. It's FREDDIE.com. And it's beautiful. They're beautiful books, and the workbook and the activity book are great. What made you to decide? Oh gosh, I have to learn to talk or I'm fired. Listen, what made you decide? I'm going to fire myself. What made you decide to add an activity book and a workbook?
So the activity book is for children ages 5 to 10. And this is just a really fun way to engage with the lessons from the story. And it gives actual tools for kids to do on their own or for parents and teachers to do with children. Like Go Within, there's a visualization for children to start seeing their own inner dream, things to let go of fears, things to process emotions, and gives teachers and parents the ability to have real heartfelt discussions with children that will both bond them deeper and give them a greater understanding so that they can guide them throughout their lives. And the workbook is similar. These are just tools for teenagers and adults.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know it says ages 4 to 10 on the activity book, but I took out some of the stickers, so don't tell anyone.
Yeah, but you don't have to follow the ages. If you love sticker books, go for the activity book.
I do. The monkey.
It doesn't matter what age you are.
It's the monkey sticker. The monkey sticker's on my computer. So, all right, don't tell anyone. All right, and that's where the 3-minute fudge, the magical 3-minute fudge recipe was. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to try this because it's so easy. It's just condensed milk and chocolate. Well, come on, it's fun. And that, you know what, that's the whole point. You know, you can make a pom-pom spider and you can do some of the, fun things in there. But for a child, it's really important, especially if you're talking about what's going on in their life at the same time or any fears they may have. Because as you're doing these things, there are little messages like, we are all special, you are special. It's not like, you are special, and it's not like you're more special than someone else. It's just that we all are. We all are awesome. So those messages are important, I think. So I loved, obviously, I love the activity book. The workbook's great too. So I think it.
Great. I'm so pleased that you like it.
Now you did this with someone else too. You did the...
Yes. Mm-hmm. I did the workbook and activity book with my mother, Kim Norman Dobrin. She's been remarried, so she has a different last name to me.
Oh, okay. I see. So this is Mom. Mom did the workbook. She co-did the activity and workbook with you.
Yes, and if you turn to the back, you'll see a lovely picture of her standing next to me.
Is she the one doing the heart with her hands?
Yes,
she's
that is
gorgeous
correct.
Too. You're both gorgeous. You both, you both all look young enough to be my child and grandchild. So you're lovely. It's awesome that you're doing this. It's because this means that you have lots more work to do. You're not going to.
Yes, well, yeah. I've just received the second book, an activity book, and I'm busy working on the third one. Okay. So there's many more to come. So
what is
people can look out for those.
What is the second one you've just received? So it must be coming out soon. So what is the second one going to be?
I think it's still going to come out only in a little while in the US and internationally. Mm-hmm. It's called Revealing Freddy, The Light Within. Mm-hmm. And it's all about this magical gift that we have within and how it works and how to utilize it and what it brings to the world.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, and same thing. It's a children's book with an activity and workbook?
Yes, it's still got Freddy as the main character and just different friends and different lessons and just a whole new tool for people to use in their lives.
Whoa.
And also it's beautifully illustrated by the same person, Daniel Clark.
Good. So what's it like to work with your mother?
It's really been incredible, challenging at times, because maybe we're too similar.
Yeah.
But she's really wise and she's helped thousands and thousands of people and children, and she's just been a true inspiration to me. So I've learned a fortune. Her network is incredible. She's just so relatable and connects so well with people. So I've just learned so much from observing her. I told her when I was about 19, 20, I was quite a naughty child. I think people find it hard to believe.
Oh, no.
But I told her later on that I didn't listen to one word that you said, but I watched everything that you did. So I'm pleased you lived a remarkable life.
Oh, nice. Nice. What did she say to that? What did she respond to that? Or did
I don't know. I think she thought it was really special. She didn't actually, I think she was speechless at the time.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. I would be.
And maybe she thought maybe I wasted so many words for no reason.
Well, no, I think some of those words probably sank in and you just didn't realize it at the
No,
time.
of course.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
100%.
No, she sounds like a wonderful, inspirational woman, and I may have to have her on the show as well, because I know she started this foundation, and now you're moving forward with it too, with these books. But there's a reason, and anything that's helping children and orphans and quote unquote vulnerable children is just really spectacular to me, because they don't have a voice. They need help, you know?
Yeah.
They need help.
We have to be there for them.
You're doing it. And so is this kind of the course you're going on now, is to be an author? You're going to do number 3 now? The third?
Yes, so that is the focus, and we love engaging people. The workshops are really profound and transformative. We see people's lives changing in front of our eyes, and just trying to create a brand of With Love from Freddie, so to have positive tools out there for children, parents, and teachers to engage with.
Right. Are you doing when you do the workshops, are the workshops geared towards children or towards adults, or both?
So the workshops are geared towards teenagers and adults. And these delve deep into the topics of what are your fears? How do you let go of them? What is intention? How do you use intention to create a pathway to your dreams in life? How do you approach your challenges in life to make you stronger? And then what are your dreams? How do you see it? How do you create it? What is your ideal life? What is your dream for the world? And then we do crafts and activity workshops with the younger children, which is very fun and playful, and we engage just in a different way.
Right. Well, one of the things you talk about in the book too is that first of all, to face your fear, you have to be willing to do that, because you can't get anywhere without free choice, free will. You have to be willing to face that fear. And then
yes.
Exactly. And then you talk about intention, which you just did just now. Now, is your definition of intention different from desire?
Yes, because desires are vastly different from intention. Intention is the reason why you are doing something, whereas desire is the driving force. You may desire a motor car, a new car, but your intention could be vastly different for acquiring that car. The intention could be for just basic transport, to get from A to B in a safe, comfortable way. Or the intention could be to be flashy, to impress your friends. Or the intention could be to buy a car that flies under the radar. So the desire is what drives life, what creates you to go out and do action. But your intention behind the reason why you're doing that action can be vastly different.
No, I totally agree with that. I do believe they were different, but I wanted to hear your definition of that, which I think is true. But so intention is, because to me the why is always more important. Why are you doing it? And I think when you answer that, it's easier to move forward, you know?
Yes, it's the most important thing. And that's why if you want to create your dreams in life, you need to know why you're doing it. Right. Because if your intentions aren't aligned to the outcome, you might get to the goal and be like, this isn't what I wanted.
Exactly. And if you don't know why you're doing it. And also, like you said earlier, if you don't know what you want, it's hard to get there. You know, you have to figure that out. Correct?
Yes. So as you go on your journey, the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you develop, your dreams and your aspirations develop and change. and your intentions and your purpose can become more refined.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you know.
But it's good to start out with the awareness of these things in your life. As opposed to, you see a lot of people, they finish school, they go to college, they go to university, they get a great job, they're earning a great salary.
Mm-hmm.
But they're incredibly stressed out, they're unhappy, because they never stop to ask, what is my intention for doing all of this? What is my purpose? Is this really my inner dream, or is this what society dictated to me? Is this what my parents' desires were for me, or is this my true inner passion and purpose?
Right. Exactly. 'Cause so many people do what they think they're supposed to be doing, and that's that fear of what are people going to think of me, you know. One of my teachers was Terry Cole Whitaker, and one of her first books was "What You Think of Me Is None of My Business," and I've always loved that book it's because it's true. What someone thinks of you is none of your business. It's their business. So overcoming that, though, is easier said than done. You know, we often, like you, when you had a picture on Instagram that you didn't like, it was really about what are people going to think of me. You know, once you get past that, you don't mind that so much, there's so much more you can do, right? Okay. I want to talk about, Brent.
Yes, and that's the whole process. Sorry, it's
no,
cutting
that's okay.
out a bit.
I know, because you're calling from South Africa. So, and, you know, this is how it goes when you do a show. You may come in, you may go out, but as long as you're still there, you are. You're right. But okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk to about, and probably the last thing because we're kind of running out of time, is this about focus, because Mr. Cotton touched on that, and I think that's important to get past our fears as well and achieve our dreams, you know, because that's basically what the book is about, is helping people achieve their dreams, right? Hello?
Hi, Servet. Yes, so I think focus plays a very important part in having intensity and passion for what you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. I think today's day and age, there's a lot of wanting of instant gratification. And when you're trying to achieve something great or just achieve the self that you want within, we're all going to occur many challenges along the way. Mm-hmm. So it's important to stay focused on the goal as well as the process. So knowing that it will be a process, but that the goal is worthwhile. So that's why it's so important to have a dream that comes from within you that people can be passionate about, because then it's really worthwhile to stay focused and overcome any challenges that may come in the way.
Right. But if you get clinging to one result, that can be dangerous as well. It's like your goals may change and, you know, sort of evolve as you evolve, right?
Yes, correct. As long as you, the person that is deciding when you want to change your dreams, but not being too fickle, not changing your dream because the road is too challenging, only changing your dream because that you feel within that there is something better to create for mm-hmm. your life, that mm-hmm. there is something better to create for others around you and your surrounding.
Right, exactly. So now what do you do? What do you say to people who say they have a goal but they can't do it because, they need the insurance money and they have to have a job and they have bills? And one woman at a workshop said to me she was on a fixed income, and I said to her, well, who fixed it? But you know what I mean? It's like we kind of put ourselves in our own traps, our own web, if you will, right?
Yes, we create many limitations for ourselves in many different ways.
Right. And that's the purpose, I think, of this book, is to look beyond that so that children and people can understand that really if you tap into this within yourself, anything is possible. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. And I think Deepak at the end of your book had some quote, you quoted him, right? You used some of Deepak's quotes in the book as well.
Yes, one at the back of the book.
Yeah. We've lost you. We lost you there a little bit. We've got some tapping noises. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. You went somewhere for a second, and there were some tapping noises, which were kind of cool, but you weren't there. You weren't there for a minute. So are you back? We're having a little trouble with the connection here, but I think he'll be back in a second. Brent? I think we've lost him. He may have to call back. It's been a great interview, really. It's a great show. The book is wonderful. Hi, if you can hear me, we've lost him. Here he comes again. Let's try this again. Hello? Hello, Brent. Are you there? Hello? No, we don't have him on the line. We were on the line with Brent Feinberg. He may try again one last time. And then we'll wrap up. But the name of the book is Freeing Freddie, the Dreamweaver. It's a children's book, but it's so beautifully done, and anyone can connect to it, not just a child, but it's wonderful for children too, because Freeing Freddie, the Dreamweaver, is all about facing your fears and following your dreams and your passion in life to get where you want to go. It's a very simple tale, but it's beautiful. And here we go again. Let's try one more time. Brent, are you there?
Yes,
Hi.
I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay, so I've just been telling everybody that it's a wonderful book, Freeing Freddie, the Dreamweaver, and about following your dreams and your passion, and not just for children, but adults will relate to it too. And the name of the website is With Love from Freddie, FREDDIE.com. And you can also find the book and the activity book and the workbook on Amazon.com, right?
Yes.
Oh, now I can hear you loud and clear. But that's what happens when you do a show, even when it's not live. We can't, we just run with it. And it's been an excellent show, I was saying, when we lost you for a minute. But it's been a really great show, and we're going to wrap up here in a second. So what, if anything, would you tell people about the work you're doing now?
Everything that we're trying to do is to help people see that their lives are worth loving, and for them to go within and create joy for themselves and others.
Good. I love that, especially in this day and age, because we have so many children that are lost on social media and their cell phones and are not connecting with people as much. And, suicide rates are up for teenagers and all of that kind of stuff. Are you guys getting involved in any of that stuff?
Yes, that's
Good.
A big reason why we're doing all
Good.
This work, is to give people the inner joy and inner peace that the world is really needing.
Right. Yes. And so these are tools, especially I think in the activity book and the workbook, that can be used with teachers and parents for children to help them move out of that just being in front of a computer or on their cell phone all the time. Right?
Yes, the books are a wonderful tool to connect and have deep, meaningful conversation with children or anyone.
Right, exactly. Well, I love the work you're doing, and keep doing it. I'm going to have your mother on the show. So
Yes, she'd love to speak with you, and she's quite passionate about woman empowerment and is an amazing woman herself, so I think you'd have a lot to connect on.
Right. I think it's wonderful. And then again, you said you've already done the second series in the Freeing Freddie. I guess it's going to be a trilogy, right? Or at least 3 sets of books, right?
There'll definitely be at least 3.
Okay, so you've got number 2 already that'll be coming out soon, and then number 3 is in the works. And the second one's about being in the light. What's the third one's kind of basis going to be?
The third one is all about the journey within and freedom.
Freedom. Okay, good. Yes.
As well as, I really wanted in the third book to incorporate powerful feminine characters.
Yay!
Having the voice of the powerful woman in the world.
Yay! So will Freddie have a friend?
Yes, Freddie will have a friend who is a little girl, and the person teaching the lessons will be a wise older woman character.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it.
All the books have been inspired by nature, as I see nature as an integral part of our lives and something we need to cherish and protect. Right. So that's always going to come through, and comes through really strongly in the second book.
Oh, good. Because yes, this one is set in the rainforest. And it's not just Freddie and the main character is Mr. Cotton, a spider, and it's really a nice little adventure and a great lesson. And I think children will take a lot, and people in general, adults as well. And there's lots of tools for teachers. So I'm glad you're spreading the word, getting it out there to teach them how to use the books to help teach children as well. It's really good work. I'm proud of you. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, Servet. It's been so wonderful speaking with you. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you for the show. It's been great. And you will be back when book number 2 and the whole set is out. And I'll have to find your mom, Kim, and get a hold of her and have her on the show as well. I thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care. Calling from out South Africa. I really appreciate it. Good night. Good night to you. Good night. That was great. That was Brent Feinberg. I'm going to spell his name Feinberg. I mean, he's young too. He's in his late 20s, I think. I don't think he'd mind me saying that because it was on one of these releases. So, and look what he's done already. I forgot to ask him what a body talk practitioner is, but he's a triple Reiki master and does yoga teaching and everything. And then his mom started this foundation, which is really awesome because it's published by the same foundation that Tomorrow Trust is what it's called. And it's a nonprofit organization devoted to the education of orphans and children, not just in South Africa, but in other places in the United States as well. But the Tomorrow Trust, that foundation, has placed more than 50,000 books in the hands of young readers to guide them through the process of letting go of their fears and empowering them, and to also dream their dream, as they well should. I always do the be you to the full thing, and it's true, and the guy at the end will do it again because I can't say it enough because it's so important. But I really appreciate all of you tuning in today. It's been a great show with Brent Feinberg. The name of the book is Freeing Freddie, the Dream Weaver, and then there's also an activity book and a workbook. Amazon.com is the place to go, or you can go to withlovefromfreddie.com. You can find out everything and anything about me on my website, servethasan.com, ServetHasan.com. I'm still doing private sessions. I'm doing a lot of workshops, but lately they've been private. So, being organized by groups where, there aren't open to the public right now, but I'll be doing more of those again soon and online. They're redoing my website, and I do have a new website coming out for my next book and a blog for that. And these shows are all going to be podcasted very soon because Clear Source Radio is now part of iHeartRadio. So that's coming up as well, all kinds of things. And I really thank you for tuning into the show, and I thank all of you for giving me your comments and your feedback. I always appreciate that. You can email me at servet@servethasan.com. And like I said, there's lots of things coming up. I'll keep you all posted. I have a really great show coming up live next time. I can't say who it is because this is a recorded show, so we'll just run with it at the time. But, and if you want to be on my mailing list to get more, you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Servet Hasan channel on YouTube. And if you subscribe, you automatically get the shows every week and that type of thing. And, I'll be sending out, and then you can sign up for the newsletter too. So if you want information on podcasts, etc., that will be on there as well. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Intuitive Inc. radio show with Servet Hasan. Remember to be you to the full, because that is what is truly beautiful. Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another dose of inspiration here on Clear Source Radio. Get the free app at clearsourceradio.com.